Welcome to One Insight. My name is Rich Litvin. I grew up in London and I now live in LA. And this is a podcast for extraordinary top performers. You see, I've coached some of the most successful and talented people on the planet. I see what most people cannot see, and I dare to say what most people wouldn't dare to say. And what I know about success is that on the other side of it, it can actually be lonely. You can feel like more of an imposter the more successful you become. And when you're the most interesting person in the room, you're actually in the wrong room. I coach around insight. Life looks one way, something happens, the world looks different, and your entire world changes. It can happen in an instant. And this podcast is called One Insight because a single insight can change everything. David is a member of 4PC. He's been a successful entrepreneur. He's been a coach for many years, and he wants my help to get his new book out into the world. But what I see is that he doesn't need help in the logistics of getting a book out or getting speeches or doing what it takes to be known. He's got to tap into his heart. He's got to tap in on the inside in a place where he's not willing to go. So I push him until he's moved, because I know that you can't move others unless you're willing to feel moved yourself. This is fun and it's short. And I get a man who spends a lot of his time in his head. He's literally related to Albert Einstein. I get this man back into his heart, and that's where everything will shift. Hi, David. Great to see you.
Hey, Rich.
Thanks for joining me on this podcast. You know how I play. What will make this an amazing conversation for you?
I love that this is all around one insight. I've learned that the insights I get from playing in your sandbox are things that I can create shift with. So looking for an insight that I can create shift out of.
Well, give me a bit more context. I'm sure there's something specific you'd like that around.
My next year is taking shape around the book that I'm working on. And and sending you the content today and the request around the forward, I realized that I'm getting stuck around making powerful requests. I don't have a problem making a powerful request around creating clients. This was different. And my next year is going to be shaped by making a series of requests, enrolling folks in helping me with the book launch, with reviews for it, with buying the book, and with opportunities to speak around it. So I feel like I'm feeling closed down when it comes time to make requests.
Oh, well, I can see why in this moment. It sounds like you've got this thing called a book, which feels like your thing. So I'm imagining it feels really awkward to say to people, hey, would you read this thing? Would you tell people about this thing? Would you buy this thing? That would feel awkward.
Yeah, it's like, here, please love my baby.
Yeah.
Right? And
let me ask you, I know you've had babies. Did you ever say to anybody, hey, please love my baby?
I didn't care.
Right. So we had to get you to that space here.
That would make this time together amazing.
Right now it feels like the book, which feels like you, and you're trying to get people to say, hey, it's not even love my baby, it's love me. And that feels really weird and creepy, and it doesn't work. So the only way to get to that is either to have the spirit, or my brother literally just had a baby within the hour. He's
congratulations.
Yes. So I'm an uncle again. But I saw the photo and I was like, oh, how cute. That's just how it works with babies. We either need that spirit of the book. Oh, this is really cute. If you love it, great. If you don't love it, great. I don't care. I love it. There's one element of that. And the other one is, and it really will get you there, is, what's this for, David? Why did you write the book? Why do you even care about this? What's it for? What's the impact you want this book to make when it comes out into this world?
I put attention to that as we started the writing process, and I think it's shifted over the course of its conception and gestation. Right? There's part of it of what I want for me, and there's part of what I want for those who read it, right? The for me is easy. It's more exposure, more visibility, more reach, right? That's the easy part. The harder part is what I want for them. And I think it goes to my work around unearthing and unleashing the power of the heart. And I think what keeps us clogged most often and keeps that power in is the mindsets, the decisions we make and the things we pretend are true and then hold as true. And I want the impact of this book to be a way for people to rewire their thinking, to realize that you can't change what happens to you. You can change how you react to it. And by changing the way you think, you change what you see. And by changing what you see, you change what you experience. And it's going to the most basic level, controlling that which people have control over to change their world.
Well, that was beautiful and lots of words, but so heady. There's nothing I can grasp onto. I couldn't repeat any of that to another living soul. Really, get to the heart of why. Okay, I get all that. Put all that to one side. Why? I wrote a book to help coaches build a successful practice. And what I love about that is the more successful every coach is who gets to read my book, the more of an impact they have and the more people they work with. So the ripple effect is huge. And I believe in coaching. Why are you writing your book, David?
I had several spaces in my world where I wasn't living from here. I was listening to other voices besides my own because it was easier.
Okay, I'm going to pause because I know I want to cut to the heart of this. I know you're going to too many words to tell me something that I can't feel. Tell me a story. Tell me a moment in your life when you were not living from your heart and the impact of that and why you don't want anyone else to ever have to go through that, David. And do it in as few words as you can.
Yeah. I spent a great deal of time building the company I thought I was supposed to build and being the person that I thought I was supposed to be. And it wasn't mine. It wasn't true. And I got to the point where about 15 years ago, where the only thing that I was really clear on was the 4 or 5 best ways to kill myself, because I couldn't keep doing something that wasn't true. And I think the shift for me was I'm noticing I'm trying to get the words right instead of get the words out.
Here's what I just heard.
Yeah.
There was a moment in your life when you got to play a game called business and you got really good at this game called business and you were paying a price that you couldn't even see until the moment where it got so intense that the only way out you saw was possibly suicide.
Yeah. And I think what changed for me was looking at my impact. I already knew at that point that children of parents who commit suicide are 50 times more likely to do the same thing in their lifetime. And that's not the impact wake that I wanted. And I've spent a great deal of time, effort, and energy since then looking at...
David, I'm going to interrupt you again because there's a place where you bypass the emotion. I'm a dad.
Yeah.
That just hit me.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate I haven't had suicidal thoughts, but the thought that if I had, and I carried it through, that my kids would be, 50 times more likely that they would take their own lives?
Times.
That breaks my heart. I haven't yet felt your heart in this conversation.
Yeah, I keep feeling it stopping about right here. And
Yeah.
I feel that was That was the moment. I didn't want that to be my legacy.
Yeah.
That's not the imprint I'm here to make.
Mm.
Especially not on them.
Yeah.
It's the wrong lesson to teach.
Mm. So why'd you write this book?
It captures the power that we have to shape and create our world. And I wanted to create something that was simple, easy ways for people to shift their world, themselves, and not rely on anybody else. And it's not about needing to do it themselves. It's reminding people they have the ability to do it themselves. And it's using examples of mine and my clients, and it's making it real. It's an opportunity for people to take that leadership position in their own lives first and not fall into the same trap of doing it, making their lives look fabulous on Facebook, but not living it true.
So let me turn up the flame a little bit in this conversation, because again, I hear your words, but now I lose touch with your heart. There's something that you go away from me as you explain this. Do you feel that? Or is that just on my side?
No, I hear you. I explain it, it goes right back up into my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I spend a lot of time there.
Yeah. You're a super sharp man. In fact, I discovered the other day when you asked me to write the foreword that you're related to Albert Einstein, right? So
Yeah.
no coincidence. You spent a lot of time up in your head. And you want to move people, you have to allow yourself to be moved. That's really the only way this thing works. And you need to move people, because what I hear is there is a man who was living his life in a way that the only way, the default future he was living into was one where he'd take his own life. The price he was paying was too much. And then he had this tiny shift in the way he saw the world. He saw the impact it would have, the legacy he would leave. And he said, hell no, that's not how I will be known in this world. That tiny insight shifted everything. This man has written a book about ways to have tiny insights, shifts in mindset, as you call it, that can change everything. That's the story you need to tell, man.
I got some editing to do. Yeah. And that is the piece. There's so much power in the tiny insights. It's not the 90-degree turns. I have a long history of making it hard, and when it's not necessary.
Let's go back to where we began. You don't put your baby out there and show people and say, love my baby. You love your baby, and that's all you care about. You don't yet love this book enough. You got to fall in love with this book. When you do, A, it will be easy to share about it. And B, you won't care whether people love it or hate it. It will be important enough that you share about it. Your job is to fall in love with your book, which means your job is to fall in love with the story behind the book.
Yeah, but not the story. It's fall in love with the story behind the book.
Yeah.
And I think that I've been holding it here. I've been holding the concept and the intellectual idea of it, and not really the power of it.
If you're listening or watching, that sound you just heard from David was very, very quiet, and it sounded like this. So all he said was, and he was looking away from me and looking down. That was the sound of insight. He's already gone off into the future of, well, what do I need to take out of this book? And how do I fall in love with this? And what is the story that comes from my heart and not my head? That's an insight moment. And anything else we do or talk about right now is superfluous. It's a bonus on top, but it's not needed. This man knows how to write in a powerful way. He knows how to tell powerful stories. He has a powerful book. The insight moment was the moment he said, and he began to think about, how would he do this differently? I think we're there, David.
Yeah, it changed the energy. It was like a drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't move others unless you're allowing yourself to feel moved in the first place. So find out about what moves you about this book, what moves you in each chapter. Take out anything else. It's not needed.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. For most of human history, it wasn't called coaching. It was called leadership. And it's what I love to do, to coach people, to lead people, and to mess with people's thinking. If you'd like more of this, or if you'd like to learn more about our community of extraordinary top performers, go to richlitvin.com/oneinsight.